Explain to us what Gavin Newsom's California is like and what that might portend for a broader America were he to get close to the White House.
From when he took over to present day, nothing has changed in California for the better. Most everything has changed for the worse. And if California is a tale for the rest of the country, then it should be a cautionary tale that Gavin Newsom could be given the best product on a silver platter with a big fat pink bow, and he'll run the country straight into the ground. So we should be a cautionary tale for everybody.
Absolutely. Now, there's a big fight on over redistricting, and of course, California is taking up this redistricting fight in the wake of Texas's own redistricting fight. Now, the California Supreme Court has rejected a petition filed by state Republican legislatures seeking to halt the redistricting plan. Alex, tell us about this.
Well, so not to steal your thunder, but maybe about an hour ago, both houses of the California legislature passed the plan. So it's going to the governor's desk for signature, and then it will be placed on a ballot. So both houses of legislature have gone ahead and passed it. And they used every dirty trick in the book because there is a statute that says when a law is first proposed, it must be debated for at least 30 days before it is passed. That did not happen. So what they did was they took an old bill that was sitting there in committee, gutted it, rewrote it to be this bill, and said, oh, by the way, this bill was introduced more than 30 days ago. So there were a lot of loopholes that were gone through, a lot of technicalities that were pulled up, and now it's fait accompli with the legislature, and now it's in the hands of the voters, and I'm hoping that the voters resoundingly defeat it this coming November.
Well, breaking news there. Thank you for updating us on that, Alex. So if it does go through, though, if the referendum does pass, what does that mean? It means, what I understand, possibly 5 more Democrat seats in the Congress.
It does. So, I mean, if your audience there in Australia may not know, but of the 435 seats in the lower house, in the House of Representatives, those are reassigned every 10 years based on the census results that are done every 10 years per our Constitution. However, the exact drawing of those districts is left up to the states. And so out of the 50 states, I think about 7 of them have independent redistricting commissions where the people themselves have said, we don't want any of this partisan gerrymandering. We want there to be an independent commission made up of Republicans and Democrats and independents who will fairly draw these maps. And California did that once in 2008 for the boundaries of our districts of state offices within the state. And then 2 years later in 2010, the people, again, not the politicians, the people said, we want to include the congressional boundaries. That was passed in 2010 with an even bigger margin. 61% of Californians said we want an independent commission to do this. So really what's happening is it's not Gavin Newsom that's grabbing power. It's the government. It's the government against the average person, because there is no longer this temporary suspension of this redistricting commission. It is no longer dependent. It was predicated, if Texas passes it, then this will happen. If they don't pass it, this won't happen. So they've removed all of that verbiage from the bill. So if you look at it, there is no end saying, in 5 years, in 10 years, we'll give this back to the people. No, this is a one-sided power grab. And I'm hoping that the voters of California see through it and don't give this power back into the greedy hands of the politicians.
Alex, that's brilliantly explained. I haven't heard it put so concisely before, but I just want to stick on this idea of Californian decline. Now, there's a big company in America called Bed Bath & Beyond. They sell towels, housewares, all sorts of things. Great stores. It's a homewares chain. But their executive chairman put out a statement this week saying that they will not open retail stores in California. They said, this isn't about politics. It's about reality. California, they said, is one of the most overregulated, expensive risk environments for business in America. Now, Gavin Newsom, instead of trying to win the business back, said, well, the company already went bankrupt and closed every store across the country 2 years ago. Okay, I mean, how is that a helpful response here to people who might just, want to open, God forbid, a business in California?
It's if for somebody who's running the state and is trying to supposedly make things better for the average person, you would think that if you had the highest unemployment of any state in the country, which California does at 5.4%, you would think that you would want to foster business, you would want to foster job creation. But that has not dissuaded Gavin Newsom. Having the highest unemployment in the country has not dissuaded Gavin Newsom from driving away businesses. And I don't blame the CEO of Bed Bath & Beyond, which, the new CEO is bringing the company back from bankruptcy. It shuttered all of its brick and mortar stores during the pandemic, and they're trying to make their comeback, trying to open new brick and mortar stores. But he's saying, it's impossible. Why is it impossible? There is an astronomically high minimum wage in California. The gas tax is very high. So even if you're going to transport goods from, let's say, the port of Long Beach into all your other stores, it's going to cost a lot of money to get things from point A to point B, and that's going to be passed on to the consumer. And those are reasons why, even if you're trying to enter California as a jobs market, as a business market, the initial ask is so high that it's nearly impossible. And that's simply what the CEO was saying. And rather than making or even pretending to make the business climate more affable for him to join, he just said, we don't want you. And I think that's the wrong message.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that when I read that. Alex Balekian, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you telling us all about what's happening in California.